FSU famo, it's your boy Polk County No. And we back at it. Taggart, he's good. He's gone. And I'm gonna jump right into the gusto. And right to business. Let me be very clear about my stance was on Coach Taggart. There seemed to be some confusion. And I know I just got trolls out there, people that just like to come on videos and be negative for no reason. Because if you actually watch my videos, you would know I was not against Coach Taggart. I thought he deserved all his time to turn the program around, and I did not wish him fired. Now, with that said, halftime of the game, I did get on a video, 3-minute long video. I'm in my emotions. I'm pissed because we're playing like garbage on the TV. So I'm hot. I'm 38. And I said if he didn't fix it, he had to have to fix it, or he can get the hell out of Tallahassee. Yep, I sure said that. But that was my emotions running high. Again, if you check all my videos prior, I supported him 100%. I just couldn't comprehend how in that game you came out playing like that at home. Now that that's out the way, and we got that all cleared up, I'm going to talk about potential coaching candidates, who's realistic, and my own personal opinion on what I think went this is a controversial statement that I'm going to put out. Call me controversy, no, because I have no sources on this. I have no insight on nothing. I just have my own little theory in my head of what happened and what I think is going to be announced going forward. But I'll get to that. Who are the coaching candidates? Well, personally, I've thought about it. When the news first dropped, if you haven't, check out my video. I dropped this just about as soon as I found out Coach Taggart got fired. I dropped the video, my instant reactions, excuse me. And I said less. I said Les Miles. I'm gonna backtrack on that after thinking about it more. I would not be mad at a Les Miles hire, but after thinking about it a little more, Les is 66, so he's not really a long-term option. So in 5 or 6, 7 years, you're going to be looking for a new head coach anyway. So I don't think FSU wants to go the Les Miles route. Then again, I think Les Miles is a guy that brings stability to the program ASAP. That was one of the reasons I want him. He brings stability to the program ASAP. And right now, we need stability. Because these kids on this roster have gone through a lot. From the bowl that Jimbo Fisher put them through till now, I wouldn't be surprised if the transfer portal blew the hell up. Gotta be honest with you. Oh, recruiting, y'all can forget about recruiting. This class is gonna tumble. So I originally said less. I'm kind of gonna backtrack on that. My pipe dream is Venables. Venables ain't leaving Clemson, and I don't even know if we got the funds to even make him consider leaving Clemson. Venables has a cushy job. He's getting paid a lot of money at Clemson. So that's the pipe dream. So I've heard PJ Fleck. Now I looked into Fleck, PJ Mask, right? PJ Fleck, PJ Mask, whatever, up there in Minnesota. I looked into him. He's a good head coach. Well, almost choked. The problem I have with him, he's got no Florida ties. Guy's never recruited the state, coached in the state. I can't co-sign that one. If we can't get Florida ties, you can do what you do up there in Minnesota in the Big Ten. And I know he's undefeated and he's got that, but who has Minnesota played? They ain't played the big boys yet. Be interesting to see, that team, should put up a competitive fight against an Ohio State. I I don't. You can keep PJ Mask. You don't recruit the state. That was one of the problems when Miami thought they was getting this great hire in Al Golden, who did all these wonderful things up there at Temple. Al Golden had no ties in with the South Florida area. And even when he got to South Florida, refused to really recruit it hard. And look what happened. I'm not saying PJ Fleck would do that, but he's got no ties in the state. I can pass on PJ Fleck. Let's just get this one out the way so we can squash that bull right now. Urban Meyer, no. If you're an FSU fan and you're asking for Meyer, yeah, I'm revoking your card. I got no respect for that. Urban Meyer, really? That's who we want? No. Next, Lane Kiffin, FAU. Now, he's an interesting hire because he's coaching at FAU. You'd think he'd be in tie with South Florida. You get a stronger logo behind Lane Kiffin, maybe you can do something. I am going to pass on Lane Kiffin. I don't want Lane Kiffin is kind of another clown show, and I don't want him. I'll pass. I don't. It's interesting because he's coached with Kendall Browse before, and if that's a reunion that maybe they're willing to make, I don't think they're willing to make it. I think they have other plans for Kendall Browse, but we'll get in that. That's controversy, We'll get into that a little bit later. You got Lane Kiffin out there. So I've said Les, PJ Fleck, Urban Meyer, Lane Kiffin. Another name I'm seeing a lot are both Stoops brothers. Obviously, Mark Stoops, former defensive coordinator at Florida State, so he has ties with the university. That's not a terrible hire. He's had Kentucky he hasn't won a lot of games at Kentucky, but in the SEC, they have been very competitive. I'm not mad at that hire. It's not. He maybe should be a second or third option, I think. Well, I won't say third, second option. I wouldn't put him at the top. But that's not a hire that I'd be like, man, what the hell are they doing? Because he has ties with the program. He's recruited the state, obviously. And it was Mark Stoops that really turned the defense around when he was Jimbo Fisher's first big defensive coordinator. And if you don't remember, one of the reasons Mickey Andrews and Bobby Bowden found them, the defense had really fallen off a cliff. That's when we had a guy by the name of Corey Magnum back there playing safety. And we were terrible defensively. He was probably the worst college football player until I just saw Juwan Williams. But he was one of the worst college football players I had ever seen. Mark Stoops came in and he turned that whole thing around. And, Mark Stoops, he's the one who was coaching Bjorn Warner, Tank Carradine, those guys. So it's interesting, and we would I'd be interested to see that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Bob Stoops is the other one. So Mark Stoops is, I think, the more realistic option. Bob Stoops right now is a head coach / general manager for an XFL team in Dallas. Now, I don't know. The key thing with that is I don't know how much he's getting paid for a league that hasn't even started making any revenue yet. That's a fair point. If FSU can go in there and say we'll give you $4 or $5 million a year, which I don't think they. You just paid Willie Taggart $20 million to go home and sit on the couch and do nothing. Willie Taggart's got $20 million in the bank, hard cold cash. Do you have any money left? You gave Willie Taggart all that money, yet you couldn't pipe up some money to get Jimbo to stay on the facilities, or give Willie Taggart more money to get maybe some of the coaches he wanted off the rip? Come on now. But anyway, yeah, I don't think we could afford a Bob Stoops. Granted, again, I don't know how much money he's making for a league that doesn't exist yet. But I don't know. I don't know if we could get Bob Stoops out of retirement I wouldn't necessarily be against it, But at the same time, who's Bob Stoops gonna bring with him? Like that's like Mark Stoops would obviously bring his Kentucky crew with him if I had to guess, right? I don't. Bob Stoops lets his whole situation in Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley was just a plug and play guy. Bob Stoops had already had everything set. So obviously that team ain't coming to Tallahassee. So I don't see Bob Stoops as even a realistic option. I talked about Venables already. I feel like I'm leaving somebody out. But yeah, must have been, I don't know, some of the Memphis coach and some of these other guys are being rumored. I'll be honest with you. My personal opinion on what I think, this ain't controversy knows yet. This is just what I think we should do. Who's my guy? My guy. My pipe dream is Venables. My realistic guy, and this might sound crazy, but I wouldn't mind taking a page out of the LSU playbook. When LSU first decided they weren't going to pay all that money for Jimbo Fisher, and they said, nope, you know what, we're going to stick with Ed O. I thought it was a mistake. It wasn't. It turned out to be the smartest thing they've done. Why? Because they sat around at Ed O with everything around them. Now the question is, are you going to do that? I'm of the belief I wouldn't mind seeing Coach Hagens get that nod. Now I don't think Coach Hagens wants that nod. I'm just, for my own reasons, give Coach Hagens that, and then surround him with some legit coordinators. I mean, Coach Hagens, if anything, he stabilizes the fan base. There's no fans are gonna say they hate Coach Hagens, and he stabilizes recruiting, which is why one of the main reasons why LSU kept Ed O after they let go of Les. They said, we need to make a decision, and Ed O is gonna. I mean, if that guy ain't from the bayou, you feel me? Like, he stabilized recruiting. I think Coach Hagens would do something similar. So I think that's one option that I would be a fan of. And man, the other option would be, again, Venables or Les. I'm with that. The problem is I don't see the market. I don't see a lot of coaches that's on the market. PJ Fleck he's the hot commodity in college football right now. He's the guy that everybody, I just don't think he's a good fit for us. The guys, I don't know. I don't know if you can bring a guy from Minnesota and he's not recruited the state at all. Who's he going to recruit? It's going to take him some time to build that. So, I don't see it, man. I don't think he's a good fit. I like Franklin, but why would Franklin leave Penn State for us? Like, there's a lot of names out there that people are going to want to throw around. Problem is, I don't see why any of them would even come to Florida State. There's a lot of talk about the Clemson offensive coordinator as well. Why? I think Florida State put themselves in a bad position with the way they treated this. Because I don't think Willie deserved to get canned after a year and a half. We all get emotional sometimes, and we say things when we're emotional, but at no point did I think he deserved to not at least get that third year. After that third year, all bets was off. I said that in previous videos. All bets are off after that third year. But if you're a coach and you see what they just did to Coach Taggart, who's going to want to come to Florida State? What's a realistic hire? Stoops might be the most realistic hire, now that I'm thinking about it. Because he was here before. He might see it as an upgrade. Kentucky over Florida State. It's football-wise. He might see it as an upgrade. But that's the only thing I can think of. I would say the buddy from Vanderbilt, the buddy that did the cold interview where he was just, Some people think they want this job, but I'm built for this. I like that attitude. I like that demeanor. I like that fire. But he ain't exactly coaching Vanderbilt to wins. So I don't, do you take that? Plus, let's be honest. No other black head coach. If his name ain't Odell would get a shot. But if his name ain't Higgins, they ain't putting no other brother up there for a while. Drop your comments, man. Let me know what y'all think. Who do y'all got? Who do y'all think? Let's be realistic. Because I'm hearing, I've shut off social media for the night. And I might shut it off for the week. Because I'm looking in the groups that I'm in on Facebook and on Twitter. And I'm seeing a lot of ridiculous, a lot of urban talk. You can get at here with that. We're seeing a lot of urban talk. Yeah, I don't. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get a controversy node. I'm gonna tell you what I think's happening. I'm gonna tell you who I think is actually gonna be the head football coach. And it's a messed up situation, but I'm interested to see what happens. Now, this AD is not the AD that hired Willie Taggart. You pay Kendall Briles $1 million to come here, only to fire the head coach not even a whole year into the season. And we're going to be led to believe that Kendall Briles is now just going to walk away and go somewhere else. I think those two had a conversation, the current AD and Kendall Briles. I find it funny that sites like War Chant, again, the sites that are getting paid to cover Florida State, for one, I can't listen to them. They're toxic as hell. And they had a field day today bashing Willie Taggart about how sorry he was. And one of the narratives they really try to push and have been pushing is that Taggart didn't give up full offense to Kendall Briles. So if you notice, every time offense played badly, they like to say that. They always like to ask Taggart in interviews, well, how much input did you have in the offense this week? But when the offense was kind of humming and rolling, they always felt like, oh, Kendall Briles was doing his thing. I think this is set up, and I think Odell will be the intern, because I don't think you're going to tip your hand so soon. I think they're going to let Odell ride this intern. I think they're going to go a couple calls here and there, but I think they already got it set up and listed. They're going to give Kendall Briles this job. I'm willing to bet. They're going to put Kendall Briles as the head coach. They're going to let Kendall Briles fill out this coaching staff. I would almost put any amount of money on it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I am saying that's my controversy. That's my theory. I think they had a discussion. And I think they said, okay, Kendall, we're going to let you be the head coach. Just so, does that mean Kendall was coaching poorly on purpose on some of these games? You know what? I don't know. I could be dead wrong on this, but this is my opinion. I think Kendall Briles, at the end of the season, whether we make a bowl game or not, I think they're going to let Odell finish out these games. I'll be interested to see the staff going forward, or who's there and who's not there. Put some GAs in some poster spots. It's a dumpster fire, man. The rest of the season is, you pretty much gave it up. You gave up the rest of the season, and you gave up this recruiting class. But I think at the end of all of this, I think Kendall Briles is going to be named the head football coach. Because you have a young coordinator right there that I think they believe in. And I think they're going to give him the resources that they weren't willing to give Taggart. And I think they're going to make him the head coach. I think we'll be seeing that announcement. Not this week, not next week, but I think by the end of the year, we'll see Kendall Briles named the head football coach. That's my conspiracy theory. I think from the time Kendall Briles got on the campus, they painted a picture that Willie Taggart did not give up full control of the offense. And maybe he didn't. Maybe all that's true. But even if it is true, you're setting the man up to fail. And now you're going to give the job to who you really want it to. So, there you have it. That's my opinion. That's what I think. I think we got some candidates we got to look at. I think the realistic option, again, Mark Stoops might be the most realistic option you got. But my opinion, my conspiracy, Kendall Browns will be your next head football coach at Florida State. That's what I got, man. That's what I think. I mean, this video was supposed to be a review of the things that transpired this weekend. It was gonna be me giving a game review after I calmed down. Honestly, I didn't want to give a game review Saturday night. That's why I jumped in the live stream and turned tally and chatted it up there with the FSU fans and went back and forth with them and gave my opinions on some stuff because your emotions are high. When your emotions are high, you get on here. Some people like that kind of videos where people get on here and they blow up and they rant. That's not me or my demeanor, so I didn't want to do that. And then I would have said things that people are gonna come back like they're already doing because what I did at halftime, trolls come on here and I got Oregon fans hitting me up in the comment section. I removed all the negative stuff I removed. But I got people coming over here telling me I got what I want. I never asked for Taggart to be fired. Never wanted it. Never wanted it. And I wanted him to be the dude from day one. I was excited when we got him. And I still think he got a raw deal. But even in getting a raw deal, I got to hash, you didn't do yourself any favors. Because I can take losing. I can't take losing in the manner where we were just unprepared to play football. Undisciplined. Guys on defense never knew where to line. Secondary was always long. There are key things that I can't justify from Willie Taggart. Even if you think he got mistreated and all that, which I do, there are key things he did that you can't defend. The hires. How are we the only... let me ask you a question. Legit question. Somebody answer this for me. I have to do my research and look it up. Are we the only Power 5 school in the entire country that doesn't have a DB coach? Somebody answer that for me. Somebody look that up and tell me I would almost guarantee we're the only Florida State Seminoles. A school that likes to proclaim itself as DBU, and we have a claim to that. You don't have a defensive backs coach. Look it up. How? That's on the head coach. How do you go entire offseason and don't hire a DB coach? That's bad personnel management. Like I've said. Last year you couldn't hire your wide receivers coach. I'm not talking about Dugans, who you got beginning of this football year, when you took over the job and you made a guy and David Kelly a wide receivers coach when you originally just wanted him to be a recruiting coordinator. You mismanaged the hires terribly, Coach Taggart. And you can't go a whole offseason and not hire a DB coach at DBU. I'm surprised DBs even wanted to play here. Who the hell was recruiting them? Not knowing that they coming here for the logo. They had no idea who was even going to coach them. Can't defend that. I can't defend 9 penalties at halftime. How many false starts? How many? And the false starts aren't even the infuriating ones. You know what the infuriating ones? How many times did they have 5 people in the backfield? We've been playing the same offense for 2 years now. You should know how to line up. Like, that's coaching. That's being ill-prepared. That's coaching. Bad decisions on who starts and who shouldn't start. Again, we went into that game with an offensive line for 2 games that had played its best that it's looked in 3 years. The offensive line consisted of Baselli at center, right guard was Minshew, left guard was Lucas, left tackle was Washington, and right tackle was the transfer. That combination had played its best football for 2 weeks straight, and is the best an offensive line had looked in 3 years. You went into Miami game, and for whatever reason, you put Bavion back at center, and you started playing Brady Scott at guard. So you went back to the line that previously was a failure. Why? It's bad decisions. Makes no sense. So yes, I don't think he deserved it. But when you make those type of decisions that are baffling to me, that I can't justify, you basically gave the murderer the knife and said, stab me. Yeah, he wrong for stabbing you, but you gave him the knife and said, stab me. That's just how I look at it. He still was wrong. FSU's still wrong for the way they treated him and fire him after a year and a half. They wrong for that. But he gave him the knife and said, stab me. He did himself no favors. No, we're not as talented as people like to believe. I agree with that. But it ain't the talent that's the problem in terms of him what he was doing as a coach. You think Wake Forest is more talented than us? Pound for pound? No. But guys are coached and disciplined and play football. That's the difference. That's where he didn't do himself any favors. So, hey. Just thought I'd get this out there with y'all. Y'all ever see this Monday? Recording it the previous night. Shout out to all the Noel fan base, man. Regardless, I'm still 10 toes down in this thing. With or without Willie. I want Willie to succeed because I want the head coach of Florida State to succeed. And the next guy, I'm going to be a fan of. You know why? Because I want him to succeed. I'm not like a lot of you fake fans who is rooting against the guy from day one for whatever reason. Hey, but this was Polk County Known, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know how you feel. And let me know who should be the next football coach. We got a lot of time before they figure that out. Mark my words, I bet you it's Kendall Browse. Peace out. Go Noles.